when we say right versus wrong, we have two trees. In Genesis 2, you have the tree of life, and you have the tree of, I'm just going to abbreviate, okay? So we don't have to write all this out. Knowledge of good and evil, okay? The G&E tree, right? The G&E tree, okay? Not General Electric, but the G&E tree. Okay, so when we focus on right and wrong, which tree are we eating from? Good and evil, right? Because guess what good and evil is? Right and wrong. And what have we been taught? What have we been taught growing up all of our lives? Well, you need to know the difference between what's right and what's wrong. You need to be living right. You need to focus on the right. Well, guess what? What tree did God tell Adam not to eat from? Of good and evil. See, we focus on this part. Well, Adam sinned. That's bad. Bad Adam. Bad tree. Okay, well, the other part of that tree is it's not just the knowledge of evil, it's the knowledge of good. This is the law tree. Because where do we figure out where right and wrong come from? The law. And God said, do not eat from this tree. Is your mind blown yet? Right? And we're only one verse in, right? But God says, do not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for in the day that you eat from it, you will surely die. Did Adam die the day that he ate of it? No. What died? The fellowship died. Because when we understand law, when we understand there's right and wrong, what does the law bring? Fear and judgment. Why? Because judgment oftentimes has to do with punishment. Right? Punishment. Don't eat from that tree. And Paul says, do not be wise. Do not think higher of yourself than you ought to think, but think so as to have sound judgment, as God has allotted to each a measure of faith. When we eat from the tree of life, this is the Jesus tree, okay, because Jesus is life, which means that the tree of life is also the tree of truth, right? The tree of truth. When we eat from the tree of life, will Jesus ever